So when you look at all these polarity of conversations, which obviously tends to be usually more negative than positive for sure, but still you have, when you deep dive into specific destinations, a lot of, let's say, volatility. So this is kind of a ranking which can really change like every month. So it's not something that is, kind of, established for forever. It's something that can change a lot. And what you see there are the scores of specific destinations in relation to travel when things around climate change are mentioned in social conversations. Probably many of you would be maybe surprised to see some destinations still able to be extremely positive with this topic, whereas some are kind of very maybe challenged by the topics. So beyond that, what's important is to understand the drivers of a conversation. What is driving the reputation, for example, for Nepal? Why is Nepal currently facing maybe a bit of negativity in terms of reputation because of that? In the case of Nepal, and this is again very much detailed in a report, but one of the reasons why Nepal is currently facing challenges in terms of reputation is because Nepal is so much popular for the climbing and the hiking experiences. It's kind of an iconic place for that. And because climate change is kind of changing the experience and maybe the reputation of that, it's suffering a lot because this is touching one of the very iconic experience that the destination is able to offer, and it's associated to a bit of negativity, typically because there were like quite a conversation about many people dying on the Everest, and because of not only over tourism kind of things, but also because of climate change. So when you combine different sustainability centric subjects like a bit of over tourism plus climate change, you see the reputation kind of going really down. Australia is another great example. Australia has a reputation which is still very positive in general, but they are kind of portrayed or depicted as a place where the climate change is so visible because it's so much nature oriented, and we see so many potential threats on that as well it's touching kind of the icon or the brand for brand equity and value of the place. So we see a bit of a down in reputation for a place like that. Of course, the Maldives typically is so much becoming a sort of a place that is home of so many conversations about climate change because it's super tangible, and the Maldives can be very vulnerable to that, but also they are doing a lot of actions to kind of compensate. So it's creating a lot of conversations which are kind of a mixed feeling because it's still obviously a paradise, but it's a paradise that is at risk. And so because of that, we see as well some reputation impact, but also some positive elements because people going there also are aware of that, and they know maybe they can be part of the solution and not only of the problem. And then just to give one example about why Vietnam is kind of during the whole year last year still benefiting from a relatively a positive score. It's not because they don't have problems. They do have a lot of challenges. They do have massive challenges in terms of vulnerability to climate change. But the thing is, the reason why the polarity still is positive is because there are, and there are many examples in the report you will be able to read, but it's really a combination of testing many different things, taking, the facing the challenge, not hiding it, and through a lot of cooperation, international cooperation, using nature to combat that. So all of those reactions to climate change, even if they are facing a lot of challenges in the reputation sphere, is adding a lot of positivity because they are doing things concretely to combat. And Sri Lanka is exactly the same. And obviously, I will not comment on that because our friend Upali is certainly will be able to share a lot of examples and interesting ways on how to combat the challenges that still are there in their own destination.